I'm going to replace the lower control arms, both sides, and the CV axle. I think it's a 2010, 2011 Nissan Altima. Have some stuff here. Just an initial look over on this thing. Let's see. So I notice around this outer edge of this rotor, somewhere, and it's not supposed to be on that outer edge. What else? This is the driver's side with the axle. Let's see. Somebody's been in here before. Of course, I don't know why all this. See this reddish dust? That, I don't know. That probably has to do with this outer edge stuff. What else we got? We'll have to see if that bolt's tightened. Somebody's been in here before, I noticed. Yeah, have to check that out. You see back in there on these lower controllers, these ball joints, like where she's ripped up. I've seen them a lot worser. A lot. Get the old pry bar on this thing, see what she does. Oh yeah. She's, what was it? Quite a bit. What we got down here? I'll get the pry bar in there tilling. Same thing on the front. We're checking some stuff out. This power steering hose, and it's coming from farther up and from down there also where it goes. I know my lighting's not the greatest. However, what I did notice was this. That is a bolt for the motor mount. Yeah, right here. And I don't know how loose it is other than it's way loose. Back in here's a gap, and then the bolt itself isn't tightened down to it. And I noticed right here there's more marks on that bolt from where it's shifting around. And the same thing down here on this one. Oh yeah, look at that. So I'll be sure to tighten that up. I don't know who done your work for you, but yeah, they made a boo-boo there. Okay, major pain. I figured it out. So I got these tight. This one, went to go tighten it down, it's stripped out. That's what's going on. Whoever replaced this motor mount, actually it's nearer from the color of it, and they stripped that bolt out. So, oh boy, it's making contact down there on that motor mount. Why is that? It's not supposed to. Right there. Oh boy. Yep, making contact on that motor mount. Is it because it's upside down? So, yeah. There's that. Yeah, so the guy that put this mount in, he had a heck of a time with it because of that 45. It won't slip in there the way it's supposed to because of that. If he would have just flipped it over, he wouldn't have had to take off, mount off and leave those bolts loose and stuff. See there? Slips right in place. However, I don't know. He devastated those threads. There ain't no threads left down in there. There's like dust. Atomized. Well, the threads, I guess you can see them. They're right there. They're what they're called pulled. They are no good. And he done the same to these things. I can save this bolt, this one here, I'm just going to replace and re-tap and dye the holes down in there, my headlight. But yay, go to one. I got you. I'm gonna get you fixed. That's, look at the little dust coming off that thing. Oh boy. Let me get a pick. Just want to pull out some of that little stuff there. Threads. Get my camera on there. Look at that. Can't make this up. Look at that. Oh man. Yep, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Alrighty, I'm back here the next day after staying up late, of course starting late, but yeah, that hole is smooth. She ain't got no threads. Well, way back in there where the threads don't reach. However, I'm going to start the process of getting those 3 bolts. There's actually 3 of them. The great big one I showed and then 2 smaller ones. Now, in here, this is like one of my specialties, man. This drawer full of extraction stuff. This drawer, extraction and thread removey stuff. And this one, some more stuff. Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to see what it takes to get this thing patched up. Yeah. So, this is what this looks like. With the diameter of that hole, if I do all this right, I don't have to drill it out. I could put this thread insert in there. I take the original bolt, and if you look, these threads, I just threaded on there. They're smaller, so I can fit the thread insert on there. Yeah. So, we're all hunky-dory. We'll get you patched up. Alrighty, and that's what that looks like. As you can see, I put a better clamp on here, and I just slide that one back, and the same thing with down in there. Yeah, let me wipe off my little camera here. I got oil on it, won't focus right. Alright, but see how that's cracked up right there, and it's the same thing down there on that lower one. If I could just zoom in, come on, focus. But yeah, she's cracked around down there on that lower one, so I just put the better clamps on there. The other type of clamps, the factory clamps, they're spring tension. It's just a spring, and it loses springiness over time. That, in combination with that rubber hose, gets dry rotting. It's no longer soft, and she cracks. The hose is still good. It just needs more tension on it, hence the new clamps. And that stops the leak on the power steering pump, which I got to refill because it all come out of there. So yeah. And this is what this looks like whenever it's put back together, right? Oh, let me back up some. As you notice, the square edge, I called it a 45, and anyway, the 90 is at the top, and the rounded goes towards the bottom. And of course, the bolt is drilled up in there if I can get my lighting right. Yeah, no more gap back in here, and the bolt's tight. Fixed. About ready to get in the process of replacing this CV axle. Now, seeing how I ordered the wrong wire control arms, I may have ordered the wrong CV axle. We'll find out. Okay, so I'm having a heck of a time with this thing. Something I noticed, this is that axle on this driver's side, making that noise. Give me a second here to get set up. Alright, what I'm doing right now, I'm just setting the axle up in here. Kind of thing. So I can get it in the back of this steering knuckle. Oh, there we go. Now, this is the interesting part. I'm going to get a bolt put in here or something. It would kind of... Oh, come on, get in there. Alright. So, this is what we had. Reason why it wasn't clicking like that, because they had this big nut on there tight. I think this is where a GoPro came in handy. It's my little baby tapping dice. I'm able to get around the garage a lot with it. But yeah, the GoPro, as far as like drilling and tapping these different holes and thread repair stuff. Yeah, this one I actually got to put a little bit bigger bolt in it, so I'm opening it up a little bit. And these little burr bit and stuff. That one is our original bolt. I cleaned up the threads, the male threads on the bolt, and then the female threads on the nut down in there. Tapped both those out, got it to go good. This is the one that come out of that hole. I know it don't do no justice, Oh, but she's boogered up pretty good. I was able to save that other one though and just use it in the other hole. Yeah. Alright, Sharon, this is the one. And that's what it is. That fella put in the wrong wheel bearings. So I'm going to grab 2 of these wheel bearings. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm taking this one apart to see if the same kind of stuff I ran into on the other side is going on over here. I remember you said that the guy, he put wheel bearings on or something. This one really doesn't look like a newer wheel bearing. However, this axle, I could tell it's a replacement axle. So you're getting to see just what I see as I pull this thing apart. I'm hoping the same thing as the other side isn't happening to this side. We'll see. And this side is good. That's the way it's supposed to be. That tells me that side over there, that wheel bearing is the wrong wheel bearing. Okay, so notice those part numbers there. They end with 294. This one here, 296. With, yeah, that, anyway. So, let's get this down here. Get it put in down here where it goes. I already got everything. Alright, let me get it up in there. Turn the button. Alright, and that's how she's supposed to go. Yeah, seated in there, nice and tight. Okay. Oh yeah, what else? I gotta put this silly transmission fluid that come out down this little bitty baby hole. Right here, let me back out so you can see. Yeah. This little thing right here, gotta get me a little baby funnel. It's gonna be great. Alright, I'm going to torque this axle wheel hub down to 92 foot-pounds. That's what that's going to read out to. So, yeah, and this is what this looks like. Oh, get back up here. This tool's pretty cool. It gives haptic feedback along with some red-green lights. And it beeps whenever it gets to 94.7, which is close to 92 in the world of wheel bearings. And turn it off, yeah. Got this side together with the proper wheel bearing and the new CV axle back in there also. Got everything tightened up. This copper stuff is anti-seize. And I got the little brake lube, the synthetic brake lube down here on the friction points of contact ears of the brake pad, not on the braking surface. Just the little ears. And back in here on the caliper too. Yeah, that's the #1 cause of brake parts failure. That slide pin inside there becomes seized up. Guys, forget to put the brake grease on it. And I got this side. It's identical to the other side. I actually torqued this one to the very same thing, 94.7. Like I said, not far off from what it's supposed to be, 92 in the mechanical world. Oh yeah, and I got your brake clip on there. That missing clip, I'll put you one on there. Alright.